Welcome back everyone. Well, I'm in a country park just on the outskirts of London. You wouldn't think so, would you? It's lovely. All this open space. You know, if you really look, there's always a place to find, no matter where you are, even if you're on the outskirts of London. But there's the Brompton. So today I want to talk about a bit of a contentious issue. A lot of people have asked and left comments about the ride quality of a Brompton. What's it really like to ride a Brompton? So I've had this for 5 years now, or over 5 years. So I also like riding other kinds of bike, from touring bikes, road bikes, mountain bikes. So, you know, you get a feel over time of the different pros and cons of each type of bike. So today I really just want to run through some of the points about what you can expect if you are thinking of buying a Brompton, or if you're interested just in a comparison about what the ride quality on a Brompton compared to a regular bike. Now, I know people have got a lot of very strong opinions on this, so I'm going to try and be objective and just tell the truth from my humble opinion. So let's crack on, shall we, and get into this. At the moment, of all the bikes I own, Brompton is my go-to bike, just because it's so versatile. You can fold it up, you can put it in your car, you can take it on a train, take it to a restaurant, and no one's ever put any objection up to that. So in terms of commuting and for shorter cycle rides, I think it's amazing, and it's an amazing bike. But nothing's perfect, and it does come at cost. So really today I just want to say a few words from my experience about what I've noticed in ride quality. The first thing you notice about a Brompton are the wheel size. They're small, they're high pressure. You've also got this long extended frame, and it's a single frame as well. It's a single crossbar. It folds obviously about a third of the way down. What you've also got is this long handle that goes up here. So within that handle, there's some flex, or handlebar, there's flex. And of course, again, you've got this long seat post. It's huge, enormous. So within that, there's also some flexibility. What you've also got, some of the characteristics again, is you've got internal gear hubs. Within here, there's a 3-speed internal gear hub. And if I just come around here, there's another chain ring there, so it goes to 6 gears overall. So you've got all those characteristics. You've got small wheels, you've got a long seat post, a long handle post, and internal gears. And the tyres are high pressure as well. So what does that mean? So what does that actually mean when you get on the bike and you ride it? I think the first thing I noticed when riding a Brompton, there's no getting away from it, is from equal effort, it's slower. So you'll find people with strong opinions about this all over YouTube saying, I can go really fast on my Brompton, I really go for it. Of course you can. If you pedal hard on this thing, it will go surprisingly fast. But with equal effort, it's not as fast as a regular bike. So for example, if I hop on my racer or road bike after cycling this for a while, it's like, wow, it's like a chalk and cheese. It's like a, dare I say it, a donkey compared to a racehorse. So don't expect to, if you're a real speed demon, don't expect it to go as fast as your bike, as your regular bike. But having said that, it can go fast. If you put the effort in, you can really get up some speed on this, but it's not as fast as a regular bike with equal effort. And why isn't it? Why isn't it as fast? So there are a couple of reasons why this is. I mean, the first one is that the frame, it's long and it's only got this single crossbar, and because of that, the frame flexes a lot. So what that means is you actually lose some efficiency, you lose some of that kinetic energy. And that's really exacerbated by this long seat post and this long handlebar post. So on the rare occasions, say I'm at traffic lights and I really want to get away quick, I mean as fast as I can, this does flex. so you can really feel it going backwards and forwards, but only if you put in a lot of it. 90% of the time you won't notice it, but if you're really gunning it, that will flex. So all those things sort of add on, they reduce the kinetic energy. The other thing is these internal gear hubs. They're excellent. They require minimal maintenance, and these are a 3-gear hub with a regular gear on the outside, so 6 overall. But the issue with internal gears is they come at cost. So there are maintenance free, very reliable, but they're not as efficient as standard gearing. So again, you lose a bit of efficiency there. So that's another reason. And finally, you've got these small 16-inch wheels that run at a very high pressure. So the consequences for that is that you really feel bumps. So if you go over any terrain that's really not very smooth, if you don't reduce the pressure a bit, then it's a really bumpy ride. You can feel everything, and because of that, it sort of creates this almost friction, so that slows you down as well. If it's really flat, really smooth, then it's fine. But if you're on gravel or bumpy roads, you can sort of feel the resistance. So that's another reason. So when you take all that together, it starts to add up, and really you notice the difference in speed. And finally, I think, is the position. You can see this bike. It's excellent for riding in the city because you're above the cars. You can see above cars. You've got a very good height, and your vision is unobscured. So it's actually very good to sit that high. But because the seating is high and you're very upright, again, that is not the most aerodynamic profile. So again, if you're cycling hard, you get a lot more wind resistance, so that slows you down. So taking everything together, it's a lot slower. So one or two other points to note here. We can see these are Schwalbe tyres. They've been excellent. In 5 years, I can't believe it, I've never had a puncture with these tyres. They're excellent, but they do run at a high pressure, or it's recommended they're a high pressure, you know, up to 100 or thereabouts PSI. Because of that, if you go over grass or terrain that's not very smooth, you really do feel the texture of the road. And so the ride could be described as being harsh compared to a normal road bike. So if you're used to a fat tired mountain bike, then you'll really notice harshness compared to your regular bike. But there is one caveat there, is we just said that this frame is very flexible, and the flexibility of that frame is actually advantage. Because it flexes slightly, it does take some of the harshness off the ride, even though you have got small high pressure wheels and tyres. So you might think that this is all a bit negative, but it's not. As I keep saying, I love my Brompton, and I really like it because despite all those things, what's noticeable is that it performs above what it should. It really is a joy to ride, particularly in the cities, but even on relatively nice flat terrain, you can really cruise along at a decent speed. So it's much more comfortable than you might think it is. Now, I've had a couple of upgrades. I've put on this nice Brook saddle that is now well and truly broken in, so that brings an extra comfort. I do still have to upgrade these hand grips. I've been going on about it for ages, still haven't done it yet, but I will be doing that shortly. I think the biggest change that most people will experience when they swap to a Brompton is the gearing. So most of you will probably come from a bike that might have 10, 20 gears or thereabouts, and so you can fit your natural cadence. This is the 6-gear version, and because of that, sometimes it's a bit difficult to find your natural cadence. You've only got a choice of 6 gears really, and although I think they've spaced them fairly well, you will notice a difference. So if you're going uphill, or if you really want to go fast on a flat, you will not have so much choice as you would with a 20 gears. That's just simple mechanics. But having said that, if you get a 6 gear version like I have here, I think it's as good as it could be for 6 gears, but don't expect to have that full range. And you might see people doing this Brompton sway where they're pedaling a little bit harder than they might be doing on a regular bike. So it takes a bit of getting used to. And I think finally, all those things aside, one thing that isn't captured in any video is how much fun the Bromptons are to ride. There's something ethereal about it. It's something you can't quite put your finger on, but a Brompton sort of gets under your skin, and there's no other bike like it. If it catches you, it really sort of, it's almost like a treasured possession rather than just a bike. And that's what I think. It's got that X factor that I've mentioned before, and very few objects have that, and I've definitely felt it with this Brompton, to the extent that if I had to throw all my bikes away and keep one, it would be the Brompton. And as an added bonus, of course, it just folds up to a tiny footprint. In fact, I'll show you that now. I've mentioned this 100 times before, but I think the Brompton is a piece of engineering beauty. It's the way it folds, the way that all the dirty mechanisms are inside, and its tiny footprint that enables it to go anywhere, in a car, restaurant, on a train, on a bus. It really makes it such a versatile bike. So despite the caveat that it comes at slight cost in performance, overall I think it's well worth it, but it isn't for everyone, so I do suggest you try one before you buy one, because they're not cheap. So that's it for this one. I hope that was useful, particularly for those of you who might be thinking about buying a Brompton. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos, so do keep an eye out for the next Bikeonomic video, and I'll see you in the next one.